Hello and welcome back. At the end of the last lesson, I asked you to think up the design for the home page of our My Recipes app and create mockups using a wireframing tool. I hope you were able to do that. If not, nothing to worry. As always, we're going to walk through it. So go ahead and pull up Mockingbird by going to gomockingbird.com. Now, to think of a design, what always helps me is to look at landing pages of popular sites. So for this app, I went and checked out Facebook's landing page. And then I saw that the logo was right here on the left, some links, some login info, some content over here, and then a footer. Then I looked up LinkedIn. I saw something very similar. You have the logo, then you have a nav bar, you have login information here, then you have some content here and a footer. So I think we have enough to get started. So let's go back to Mockingbird. First thing we want to do is create a nav bar. Okay, so how do we do that? So on the left here, let's pull up a line. Horizontal line, this will work. So you click on it and you drag it in here. And then you can click and extend this. Okay, I think we'll need a little more room on top, so pull this down a little bit. Okay, so now we're gonna need a logo over here. So let's bring this over here. That's a little too big. It'll work for now. Okay, so we need some text in here. And we're calling our app My Recipes. It's a little too small, so let me increase that. Okay. All right, that looks good. So now let's pull this over there. Okay, this needs to be a little smaller. Okay. And now we're going to have some links here. I'm going to guess for now, probably a login link or a sign up link and some links to create recipes and the like. So let's go ahead and do that. Probably use a text input box. That should work. For now, I don't know what the links are going to be, so I'll just keep them as link. And then instead of dragging another one in, you can just use a Command C, and then there you go. All right, that'll do for now. Okay, now here, let's see again. Let's go back to Facebook because there's some content. I'm thinking of a container. So Bootstrap has this Jumbotron that we can use. So I'm envisioning using Jumbotron here. So I'll go ahead and do that. What can we use here? I think this should work. All right, and then we want some welcome message here. So we need some text. So we're gonna say, welcome to My Recipes app. And feel free to play around here and customize it as you like. I'm putting this together fairly fast, so that's the whole idea behind wireframes. They don't have to be perfect. You just want something to get started with. And I want a sign up link here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that. All right, perhaps some more informative text about our app. So I'll pull in some more text here. Okay, that looks good. All right. Now what I want to do here, I want to give the user a few options. So perhaps this will be a button to some options. This could be another button to some options. Okay. And perhaps an explanation of some whatever option it is that we're thinking of. So okay, it's starting to look pretty good. Okay, so now we want a footer over here. So let's see, horizontal line. We can perhaps copy this one. Whoops, that's not what I was looking to do. There it is. Okay, I think we have enough. I think we have enough of a mock-up here to go on. And I wanted to go through the process of creating a mock-up so you kind of got an idea of how these pages are designed. So go ahead and save this. We'll refer back to it as we need when we start building the home page in the next lesson. The last thing I want to cover now is to set up a Hello World homepage. We'll edit the view of it in the next lecture, but for now, I want to have a page with the route set up and ready to go. Now to set it up, we'll follow the approach that you had used to build a blog app, where you enter in the expected route or action first, or the URL, and then follow the error messages as a guide to build the feature that you need. So let's go ahead and do that. First thing I want to do is I want to see the directory I'm in, okay? And then there's our workspace app, which is the main app for this course. So I'm going to navigate to that by typing in cd workspace. Okay, and then I want to run the Rails server. So all right, the server is running. So let me navigate to the page, copy this. All right, so that's the home page right now, the root page, I mean. So I want to get the home page. So if I type in home, I see it says no route matches for home. How do I check the routes? Back in your app, if you go to a new terminal window, and again, if I type in rake and then space routes and hit return, I see my application currently has no routes defined. And it says, please add some routes in the config/routes.rb file. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So in the workspace, which is our application, we have a config directory, and under the config directory, we have the routes.rb file. All right, so there's a lot of stuff here commented out. We don't need any of this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and delete it all. Make sure you don't delete the last end. All right, so let's go back to our error message. It says no route matches for get home, right? So what we need is get home, or actually get home to be correct. And then we want to send it somewhere. Now we have to think about the design of our application here a little bit. I'm thinking of a pages controller and a home action in the pages controller. A pages controller which we'll use to navigate to the different pages of our application. Now we haven't thought about the other pages yet, but for now, let's just assume we're going to have a few. So let's go with pages, home, and then save. Now, if I type in rake routes, hit return, I have a route /home, and it's sending it to the controller pages and the action home. Okay, so now let's reload the page and see what happens. Uninitialized constant pages controller. So now it's saying it doesn't have a pages controller. So let's go ahead and create that. We'll create that in the app controllers, and then right click on controllers and type in and create a new file, basically. pages_controller.rb. Okay. Now if you open it, and the class name is going to be camel case of the controller name, which is in snake case. So it's going to be pages controller, then application controller, end. Now within the pages controller, we need a home action. So I'm going to go ahead and define that. We don't need it to do anything right now. We just need it out there. All right, go ahead and save that. Okay, so now let's see what happens. If you go ahead and reload this page, now it's saying template is missing. And it's saying that it's searched over here. There's no template out there. So let's go ahead and build a template. Since it's the pages controller, it's expecting a pages directory under view for that controller. Since it's the home action, it's expecting a home.html.erb file under that pages view. So let's go ahead and create the directory. Right click and select new folder. We'll call it pages. Now this is all, if you're trying to think of where I'm coming up with these names and the naming conventions, this is all Rails. And as we go deep into the course, we'll hear more about these conventions and they'll become clearer. But for now, let's just stick with them. Then right click, new file. We want home.html.erb. Let's open up the home file. Put an h1 tag, and within there, hello world. All right, that should be everything we need. Let's try now. And there it is. Hello world. That's awesome. Congratulations. So your recipes app is now up and running. All right. Now in the next lesson, we'll create the home page based on our mockup, which will introduce us to the asset pipeline and how to use CSS classes throughout our app. For styling, we'll install Bootstrap and then make adjustments as necessary using a custom css.scss file that we'll use for throughout our app. Now, in preparation for it, I want you to brush up on your HTML and CSS skills. If you already know HTML and CSS, then you should be fine. But you have never used HTML or CSS or have not used them for a while, I need you to brush up on these two by going to this link. It's called w3schools.com, and this is a very good resource, and they have this tutorial on HTML and this tutorial on CSS. You don't need to memorize anything here or become proficient overnight. That'll happen with time, but you need to at least get started and get familiar with some of the basics. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next lesson.